I mean, the market is ripping, that's what we can all see, right? And it's especially Bitcoin, but some altcoins are going with it, and that's definitely nice. So let's take a look at a couple of altcoins that I am now purchasing. But also, there is a signal brewing in the market that's either make or break. And if I put something like that in the title, it is not clickbait. It is actually a signal that could either mean that we get a massive correction or one massive leg to the upside. So let's discuss that. Welcome to the Fomo Factory. Like the video, turn the bell notification on, subscribe if you haven't done already. And let's get right into it, guys. So if you look at this Bitcoin daily chart, weekly, monthly, whatever, minute, it's all ripping, man. And like every time you refresh, Bitcoin is 1000K up, right? And that's a bull market. That's a bull market where it just is, like we saw it a couple of times in this bull market already, right? Where Bitcoin was just going up and the next day up and the next day up. And now we see it again and we basically had a weekly 20K candle or whatsoever. It's quite intense. However, the question is, of course, like, when is that happening to altcoins? Because, yeah, altcoins are performing well, but most of them do not exactly look like Bitcoin, right? Everything is green, but most of them are nowhere near their all-time highs yet. And in my opinion, yeah, that is definitely coming. But what do we need in order to see that? And what's that crazy signal that could actually tell us, like, dude, should we take profits? Or should we stay in the market a little longer, right? As a quick flip, at least. Because I think within now and a year, everything is way higher than what it is today. But there is something to we should keep it in mind at least. And for Bitcoin, how high can we go? I mean, it's going quite crazy, right? Well,
I'm going to put it in 75x to be relatively conservative.
Why not? $5 million Bitcoin, let it come, bro. So yeah, it's going absolutely fantastic. Now people might wonder what's the reason why it is ripping like this? Has it something to do with Trump, or is it whatever? Look, I mean, there's one thing that I showed a couple times before, and that's just that's how the cycle moves actually. Purple is where we are right now. And we were front running the previous two cycles by a lot, right? And therefore we needed to slow down a little bit. So therefore we went sideways for a long time. And we are now in the stage of the market where the two previous cycles went up. Yeah, and guess what? Bitcoin is going up. We are right on track where we're supposed to be. Looking at the other two cycles, was this it? Well, no. This is really the beginning, right? This is really the beginning. So this is not it, guys. However, if you take a look at this orange line, market cycle 3, that was in 2016-17. And if we look at that one, you can also see that Bitcoin was running up quite hard. And we saw a pretty nasty correction at a certain point, right? That's normal. We saw it multiple times in the 2017 bull market, by the way, where we really had 40-50% corrections, and the altcoin market got it was dead for 8 times maybe. Yeah, that's very normal. So, and you should also not look at this and be like, wow, in a matter of a couple of days, Bitcoin went from 67K to 90, basically. Oh, we're going back to 85. Goddamn, yeah, dude, that's where we were 2 days ago, right? Is it something to complain about? I don't know. However, is a correction maybe something that we should expect? Well, based on how fast it is moving, I would say it wouldn't be unlogical to see a good correction at some point, right? Even if it's all the way back to 73, that sounds far, but remember, we were there a couple of days ago, right? It's not that weird. But maybe we don't go that low. I don't know. That's something that I think is super hard to predict. However, one thing that's super important is this. This is the USDT dominance. And if you look at the USDT dominance, you can see that this is actually something to keep in consideration, right? Every single time, look, you can even extend it further. Bitcoin always stops at the mid cycle or the cycle at the real top whenever the USDT dominance is hitting this trend line, right? People put a lot of money from USDT in the market, therefore it sinks, and every time it hits this trend line, it goes up. And most of the times when the USDT dominance is going up, you can see that Bitcoin is going down. Like not every time, but most of the times, right? For example, here the USDT dominance went fully up. Yeah, that was basically a full bear market. Here as well, the USDT dominance went up, was a full bear market. However, here also the USDT dominance went up and it was still good for Bitcoin, right? So it could also be that this is money that's coming from outside of crypto, that it's just new money coming into the market. This is just basically showing the money that's already in the market. However, we are at the lower side again. And yeah, the last time that happened, especially because, Bitcoin, one, it's not that volatile. Two, nobody cares about it at this stage of the market, I guess. But especially with the altcoin market, last time we were at this trend line for the USDT dominance is basically where altcoins, yeah, were at the cycle high and kind of crashed 80%, right? The time before that was when we went into a full bear market. The time before that was that double peak, basically, right? So far, the history isn't really that great. So, based on this, it would not be weird to think that the market can take a correction. And especially if you consider how much it ran up, correction could be pretty big, actually. However, this is not the cycle top, right? The kind of the bull market, the second leg, literally started this week. This is not the top. So, if anything, then if we get a correction, that's the buying opportunity. You can, of course, now look at the market after everything went up 40, 50, maybe 100 or more percent and be like, wow, yeah, let's buy now. Or you can just write your bags that you have, maybe take some profits here and there if you have some, right? And if there is a good correction, then buy it. Right? In my opinion, that is the best strategy. Let FOMO not exist. Right? I'm not talking about me. Don't let me die. But the FOMO you feel for the market. When it comes to altcoins, yeah, we haven't seen that much actually. Right? I mean, look, Bitcoin is like completely ripping, man. It touched $90,000. It's absolutely incredible. However, the Bitcoin dominance, yeah, it went down last week. It's going up this week. The week before it was up. Like, if anything, it didn't really move for the last 3 weeks. So if your altcoins are going up, it's not because the collective altcoin market is outperforming Bitcoin. So far, this has no signs of alt season. It could start here. I spoke many times about that. But for now, it's a little soon to say that it has started, right? Let's be honest, it hasn't. Altcoins haven't been outperforming Bitcoin at all, right? Some might, but not the average altcoin market, which is what we call an alt season. Can you imagine if that happens, right? And the fun thing is that will happen. Look, this is others on the Bitcoin pair. Others is the top 125, excluding the top 10. I don't know exactly how to draw this trend line perfectly, but looking quite okay, right? So this is the chart showing, is it alt season or not? Well, I guess not, right? Yet altcoins are doing fine. Yeah, that's because Bitcoin is completely ripping. But for altcoins, we haven't seen shit yet, right? And that is actually very bullish. If that money from Bitcoin flows into the altcoin market, then you won't know what happens. Right? That last cycle where we had this alt season right here, that was the second alt season that we had, but it was also the second biggest alt season. This was like, man, the whole market did 100x or more, right? That was absolutely crazy. However, this is where we took liquidity out of a 20, 30, 40K Bitcoin, right? We now already sit at 90. It's slightly lower now, but by the time you watch the video, it might be 50 or 120, like it's that volatile, right? But this time we take it out of a 90K Bitcoin, not out of a 20K Bitcoin. So, yeah, of course, altcoins are higher cap here as well, so they need more liquidity. But all in all, there are still some juicy low caps that I don't think you realize how extremely easy it is for these altcoins to completely fly. Because again, it takes a fraction of Bitcoin, especially with these prices. Now, what's interesting, if you ask me, beginning this year and end of last year, beginning this year was the period where altcoins did well, right? The whole market did from the bottom until they're like a 5x on average, right? And some altcoins were sitting at 10x, did pretty well. That was in this stage, right? Where altcoins outperformed Bitcoin for a brief period, for half a year, by a little bit, right? Not by much, actually, right? But it was, in fact, it was just down, 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 and hey, a little up again, and then down. Well, this is interesting because if you overlay Bitcoin on this chart, then you will see that this happened, this run up happened while Bitcoin was like 30K, 40K, something like that, 45 maybe at the 42 at the top, right? Look, guys, Bitcoin is now double, right? Altcoins are even lower now on the Bitcoin pair. So can you imagine if this was already a 5x on your altcoins on the dollar pair, with a double as high Bitcoin and altcoins sitting now lower, if they start to go up again, how I don't think most people understand how extremely fucking hard some altcoins are gonna fly right now, right? It's like, so therefore I said, like, yeah, it is definitely possible to see a good correction on the complete market, but let's not forget just the shift in money that's already there, let alone the money that still has to come into crypto by these printers, etc. But just the shift from money could already be crazy for altcoins. I don't think really that we are bullish enough at this point. Seriously, it is really looking good out there, right? So therefore, do not buy the tops necessarily, but also don't stay on the sideline, right? Because things can move faster than you think, especially if you look at Cetify, right? What it did during this little pump right here, right? With a 20, 30K Bitcoin, altcoins outperforming a little bit. You know what Cetify did? It basically was up only from like 50 cents to $5.80. Right? It did more than an 11x over that period. And it happened quite fast as well. Here's where the real kind of breakout happened in October. And it was way higher already in December. This was like in 18 October, beginning of December, not even 2 months, right? It happened really fast. And yeah, there will be days where the market is red. Let it be, man. Here we had one day that it was down 2%. Next day it was down 13%, right? People thought, oh no, it's over. Bro, zoom out. Look what happened. Who cares about these days, right? It doesn't matter. And I think we are getting these days, but bigger, right? Based on this. It only makes sense. Now, if we look like, we at a certain point also have to be concerned. Like, okay, it's ripping hard, making a lot of money. Could the top actually be in at a certain point, right? Could it be that like some people give price targets? I think that's a little like, look, crypto has already shown like, hey, we are cyclical. I got a lot of arguments over that on the channel when I said that a couple of months ago, when people had all kind of reasons to say that this time is different. Yeah, again, the market is showing that it's not, right? So as cyclical as crypto is, I also think it's not that wise to set price targets and price predictions. One, it's very hard to do, right? You will be wrong about it. So especially as an influencer, it's kind of a lose-lose situation, actually. If I predict 200K and it goes to 199, and people will tell me I was wrong, right? So let me not do that. But two, also, if the cycle is intact, then it's way more easy to give time predictions, right? So for all I know, if Bitcoin blasts through 100K today and my target was 120, then I have to adjust that bar, right? Because I feel like, hey, but we still have a year of bull market to go, right? It's not that if Bitcoin hits my price targets today, that I'm gonna sell today as well. That doesn't really make sense. So therefore, I'd rather have time targets. And whatever happens in that time, maybe Bitcoin goes to 300K, maybe to 100K. We'll see, man. We'll see. And we'll see what altcoins will do. But be a little careful with doing that, actually. Now, again, this chart is showing, is it alt season or is it Bitcoin season? Well, this is clearly showing that altcoins fucking suck right now, right? Again, yeah, they go up, but it's because Bitcoin is going up. And there are always some outperformers, but I guess these outperformers are not strong enough. Otherwise, they would have, brought this chart up with them as well, right? So overall, altcoins, they are not great right now. But that's good, right? Because this is at lows, lower than where it was since February 2021, right? 3.5 years. Well, if you look at altcoins on their dollar pair, they're doing quite fine. So can you imagine how altcoins on the dollar pair are going to look like once this thing is not even making new highs, which it always does, by the way, but once it just recovers a little bit, right? Then altcoins already fly. I think that there's one indicator which is sometimes useful to look at, and that's the stochastic RSI, which is a momentum indicator. And the stochastic RSI, especially on the monthly time frame. Right, this is really the bigger time frame showing you how the momentum is. And this is very simple. Look, whenever it is oversold, it can stay oversold for a long time, and then everything can go down a lot more. Definitely, right? So that's very dangerous about this indicator. But what's also very clear about this indicator is we never top in an oversold area, right? We top in an overbought area, right? Here we were very overbought, and we had the last push up right here, and that was the top. Here we were like very much overbought on the stochastic RSI. Now we were quite overbought in that like January, February, March range where altcoins did well. But if you look where we are right now, this coffee is disgusting. If you look at where we are right now, yeah, this is oversold as hell, right? And again, it could stay like this for a while, definitely. But this is more the time to buy than to sell, right? And again, this is altcoins on their Bitcoin pair. So this is kind of, this thing is showing me like, hey, here it is time to expect an altcoin season. This is alt season. And here it is time to expect that altcoin season is coming to an end relatively short term. Right? Well, we are here, right? Like the alt season is like we have a full alt season to go. We haven't seen any like something like that for a year already, right? And this wasn't even really an alt season. If we just look at altcoins on the dollar pair, interesting, right? Because what we see right here is that not only the stochastic RSI is low, but if you look closely, it's also ticking upwards. Right? And that tick upwards is actually always the case when the market is going up, right? Here we had that tick upwards. Look what the market did right there. You can say like, well, that's a little bit. Yeah, I don't know, man. Here altcoins went from whatever it was 200, the kind of where we are right now, to the full top, right? This tick upwards right here, this one, kind of marked the bottom for altcoins on their dollar pair and gave us the whole run from the bottom until where we are right now, basically. This tick upwards, and I have to zoom in a little bit on this, otherwise there's no way to see. But this tick upwards right here was also right after the bottom, right? And again, we are now in that tick upwards. Now, this is not the only thing you want to look at, but what you can do is, of course, compare it with the fact that, just in this downtrend, and we kind of were smacking against it and rejected, right? Broke out, retest, boom, up, right? This is the beginning of the leg up, the beginning. Again, it doesn't mean, I think, that it's gonna be up only. Of course not, right? There will be heavy corrections along the way. And that could line up with the fact that the USDT dominance is hitting that trend line, right? That would be maybe a final rejection to give us one last good buying opportunity. And yeah, as you can see, we went there and it's going up a little bit again already. So maybe this is the beginning of that correction. But again, guys, it could also be that this time we're going to break it for the first time ever, right? And I mean ever, right? So I don't think that that chance is very high. Then again, it has to break at some point, right? USDT cannot keep on dominating. Eventually, this will hit 100%. Will take a long time, but this will break at some point. Might be that it happens right now. If we look at the altcoin market dominance, yeah, this is an interesting one, right? This is also the alt season indicator, basically, and this is showing like, hey, how much are altcoins dominating compared to the rest of the market? Yeah, we're sitting at lows, right? This would be the best time to buy altcoins. This is the macro low. It can get macro lower than this, basically. So looks fantastic if you ask me. And again, look, let's assume no new money comes into crypto, right? Let's assume China is not printing money. Let's assume US is not going to print money. Whatever. It is going to happen, but let's assume it's not. And the money in crypto right now is all the money there will be in this bull cycle. Very bearish case scenario and very unrealistic, but let's assume that. Then still, every bull market, the altcoin dominance went to the top of this range, right? Here it did in the post-halving year, 2017. Here it did in the post-halving year in 2021, right? Let's say it also happens in the next post-halving year, 2025, which is likely, I guess, right? Then it goes to around 30%. If you look at the total crypto market cap right now, 2.8 trillion. Well, TradingView doesn't track anything outside of the top 125, so let's add that up as well. 3 trillion. Bro, if 3 trillion is all we get for this bull market, again, which will be way more, of course, but if that's all we get, and this goes to 30%, then it means that the altcoin market, others, right, is going to 1 trillion. I'm not talking about the total 3, where Solana is included and the high caps, right? I'm talking about the altcoin market excluding the high caps. If that's going to go to 1 trillion, and again, that's extremely bearish and weird case scenario, actually. But look what a run that would be, right? That would be another like 280%, so a 4x on the average altcoin market. Yeah, a 4x for the top 125 on average could mean a 10x for everything in the top 500 maybe. And like, then it depends on how risky do you want to go on crypto, right? Because you could be like, well, I'm going to step in all $5 million market cap coins. There will be a lot of losers, even in the bull market. But that's also where the massive gains are going to be made. And again, this 1 trillion based on this is only if we go here, what we always do. So this is a actually very realistic case scenario, combined with the fact that not a penny more than what we have right now is going to flow into the crypto market. Yeah, that's of course not happening. There will be money printing. So that 1 trillion would be a very unrealistic bearish target, actually. And that's already going to provide you with at least a 5x on your portfolio, right? So I don't think that a lot of people realize how bullish this market actually is, right? 2025, we talked about it for I don't know how long now, is the year for altcoins. And it hasn't. The beautiful thing is it hasn't even started yet, right? Again, if you see altcoins go up, then that's nice, right? But in this case, it's only happening because Bitcoin goes up, because altcoins on the Bitcoin pair are definitely not going up. Well, let's wait for this to happen. That's where the real money is going to be made, if this thing goes up. And we happen to sit at massive support at the moment. So what could happen at this point, and the speculation from my side, but we could see a correction where the USDT dominance is going up. Doesn't have to mean that altcoins now go down, right? It could also be that people are just taking profits from Bitcoin into altcoins or into USDT, right? Because Bitcoin is the one that sits far above all-time highs. Literally everyone that owns Bitcoin is in a profit. Yeah, except the ones that bought at 90K exactly maybe, but people have reasons to take profits out of Bitcoin way more than out of altcoins. Could also be that they take some profits off Bitcoin and they don't only put it in USDT, but also in the altcoin market, which could cause that the USDT dominance is going up, but that altcoins are also going up. I lean towards that. I think that's most logical. Also, again, if you combine the fact that a lot of these charts, like, Bitcoin dominance, last cycle it got rejected at the 618. It's now at the 618, and look, this is exactly where we got that rejection, and we're now there again. So, but hey, who knows? Altcoins, Bitcoin pair at the lows, super interesting. And I think that what is giving the big resistance at this point, at this 90K point, is if you look at the total crypto market, because what you see, a big double top right here, right? I think that this is for now the thing that we should break. And once we break this, that altcoins are going up. Bitcoin pushed it up, right? But as soon as we make new all-time highs on the total crypto market, I think that's the time where altcoins are, really gonna shine. I don't know how that happened last cycle. We can take a quick look at that. But there should have been some resistance at that point. Maybe not, by the way, but it's not weird if it does. Here, let me see. Yada, yada. Okay, fucking terrible example. Doesn't matter. Look, I mean, probably on the daily chart there was some, right? Yeah. Well, not even, actually. Bad example, skip that. Doesn't matter. It's not weird that we get some rejections maybe at the previous all-time high. With all, I think that, yes, there could be a correction. If there will be a correction, it could be fucking big, right? Don't get me wrong. Be prepared for every scenario. Today, I looked at my portfolio. I saw a lot of coins up 40%, and I thought, like, well, let me take a little bit out there, just in case, right? Leave more than enough for if the market does go up, right? So don't put all your eggs in one basket, whether it comes to crypto exposure or to cash, right? I always like to sit a little in the middle. But all in all, I do think that it is close to time where people are going to take profits from Bitcoin into altcoins. And that's also where we should see the dominance go down. Now, does that happen today, tomorrow? Not necessarily. You see the dominance basically going up as we speak, and that's fine, right? Even if it goes a little above the 6, like I don't really care, right? It could go a little higher first, of course. I think that within now and, well, but by the end of the year, we should see the end of this altcoin destruction, basically what we have seen over the last years. And then the real party is going to begin. And again, shut up. And again, it is not that altcoins could go up a little bit or anything. No, altcoins could really, really, really fly. The narrative that backs that up is quite funny, actually. It's because retail is coming back, right? Again, like here, retail was like YouTube viewers, subscribers, etc. They were like just going down. And now that Bitcoin is making fat highs, retail feels like, hey, let's take a look what's going on there. right? And they will see that and they will be like, okay, let me buy some altcoins. I mean, last time when alt season started was exactly when the retail was going up here. It is like literally we have on this channel, guys, we discussed so many different charts, and now they all finally seem to come together, and it all starts to make sense right now. So if there will be a shakeout, let it happen, take advantage of it. These are the times where you should buy the dip, right? So far it wasn't worth it. Again, if you look right here on this chart, you could be like, yeah, buy the dip and you will be fine. Look, every dip so far, we've taken it out. I think now it is the time that if you look at these dips, this is the moment, right? It cannot stay like this forever. And look, the altcoins that I'm stacking up on, if you are in my Patreon, there's a link down below. You can see my portfolio exactly, right? This is a little piece of the watch list, but these are the coins mostly that I'm eyeing, actually. I think AVAX is going to completely rip, and it's already gaining a lot of momentum right here compared to the rest of the market. I mean, it's up 38%, right? Compared to the rest of the complete altcoin market, that's up 24%. And this is a high cap, right? So yeah, AVAX is going to heavily outperform. But CeDeFi is a big outperformer, right? Like these launchpads, these gaming projects, this is where you want to be at. And at a certain point, and if you are risky enough, it might be now, you might feel like, okay, you know what? AVAX, too high cap for me. I want to take a little more risk because I want more rewards. Let's put it into something lower cap, right? And at a certain point in the market, I think Hasselpedia said it today or yesterday. He says like, I'm looking at 10 up to $50 million market cap coins. Look, if you buy that today and look back in a year, you won't regret it. I think the best time for that is still coming because altcoins haven't, altcoins haven't done shit yet. And usually it is first Bitcoin, then the high caps, then the low caps. Well, it has been Bitcoin this whole time, right? I think it's now time for the high caps, and the low caps come kind of like in the second leg of this 2025 bull run, in my opinion. But hey, who knows, right? I have a good diversification. I have enough, right? Like, I have some high caps. I have some low caps. I'm kind of prepared for everything. I have some meme coins, but like 5% of my portfolio, maybe. I have a lot of gaming. I have mostly launch pads, obviously for me at least. I'm prepared. I have cash. I'm prepared for whatever, basically. And this is gonna fly. Bitcoin is not near its all-time highs yet. Again, look, you don't want to make it too complicated on yourself, right? We have the high, the top, and 2013, and 2017, and 2021. And now it's all of a sudden going to be beginning 2025. Look, that it's maybe Q3 2025, I can live with that, right? But so far off, yeah, like if the market is showing until the day of today that it's not different, then why all of a sudden in 2 months or so it will be different completely? Like that doesn't make sense at all. So no, Bitcoin is far from its all-time highs. I think it can go up way harder than where it is right now. If we look on the bigger time frame, then yeah, I mean, we should have some. Look, the first big resistance level on the Fibonacci retracement comes in at around 101K or so. So let's say 100K. Kind of lines up with the psychological level of 100K. But then again, that's the first target, right? That's the first. If you look at the last market, what happened? Bitcoin didn't stop at the 1.618, right? Also, not at the 2 or the 3 or it went way higher. That's diminishing, right? But it's not diminishing from here to here, right? It's somewhere in the middle. And a lot of people, they say like, yeah, 200 plus K Bitcoin, forget about it. Look, I don't want to make price predictions, like I said, but let me tell you, I would not be surprised if I see a Bitcoin over 200K. We have, like Becca also said, we now have a M2 bull run, right? We are completely outperforming. I think I have that chart somewhere. That that would be nice if I have it somewhere. Maybe I can pop it up like this. I don't think this is the right one. Yeah, it is. Look, we have an M2 bull run, and this is for Bitcoin. Okay, this is always the case, by the way, right? But if you look at the S&P, that's not always the case. If you look at the S&P divided by the M2, look, the S&P was kind of stuck in this range. Here, this range. For, I have to draw it right. Since 2002, basically. Right? And we really sustainably broke it end of last year. And now it's really ripping. Right? So for the first time in 22 years, the S&P is finally making actual new highs. Yeah. Look, if Bitcoin can do a 20x in this bull market where S&P did not really make new all-time highs, or a whatever 80x here, how much it was, then is a 15x or so, so weird if we see this. Well, from the bottom of 15K, like, guys, I don't know, man. It could be crazier than we all think. And again, if we look at Bitcoin on the M2, yeah, also clear all-time highs right now, right? It is already running. So it is price discovery. There will be resistance along the way. People will take profits. But I also think that people won't take profits right now to keep it in cash. At least not with a lot of money. And not the people, the people that kind of make this chart go up or down. The people with that kind of money, they know better than selling in an election year, or, very early in the post-election year. They know about these cycles. They know about the global liquidity. They're not stupid, right? They might take some profits, wait for retail like us to it's over. Sell, make the chart go down, and then they get back in, right? They're there to wreck you. And all I can say is hold on. We have a year to go. This bull market has just started. I want to leave it right there. I think these are beautiful words to give some motivation for today. If you want to like the video, please like the video, subscribe to the channel, turn the bell notification on. Let me know how is your portfolio looking and what coins are making it look like that. I'm very curious, and I'll see you guys tomorrow.